Zara woke up before the birds even began gossiping. No alarm, no call. Just her soul pulling her body up like it was used to pain knocking first. The room she slept in wasn't really a room, more like a storage closet that smelled of mothballs, kerosene, and forgotten dreams. A cracked mirror leaned against the wall like it had seen too much. She wrapped the threadbare scarf around her tiny shoulders and stepped barefoot onto the cold tiled floor. Her broom leaned by the wall, stiff and worn out, like her spirit. Zara was 11, but if you asked her, she'd say she was 30, because life had aged her. She swept the marble floors of the mansion slowly. Dust curled into the air like ghosts of yesterday's pain. No one ever said thank you. No one ever smiled. She was the maid, or, as the other house staff often muttered, the girl from the street. They didn't know her story. Even she didn't. By the time the mansion yawned to life with the sound of slippers shuffling and coffee being brewed, Zara had already cleaned the living room, polished the brass handles, and arranged breakfast cutlery, all without being asked. That's what her madam liked. "Zara!" A sharp voice sliced through the silence like a knife through soft yam. It was Madame Ronke, the lady of the house. She was dressed in her signature white lace gown, red lipstick like war paint. Zara hurried in, head bowed. "Yes, ma." Madame sniffed the air once. "Why does this parlor smell like wet rags?" "I mopped it, ma." "With what? Tears?" Zara stayed silent. Madame stepped closer and without warning, slap. The sound echoed. Zara staggered back, her cheeks stinging, but she didn't cry. Crying was a luxury, and Zara had run out of currency. "You useless girl," Madame spat. "After all the money we paid to those village dogs to bring you here, you still move like a dead fly. You better start being useful or I'll send you back, naked." Zara nodded once, still holding her cheek, but she didn't say anything. She never did. Later that day, she sat by the small window of the servants' quarters, staring out at the sky like it owed her something. She pulled out the only thing she owned, a crumpled photo of her and a woman with kind eyes. The woman was holding her, smiling. Zara couldn't remember her name. They told her she was just an orphan, picked from a market, bought for housekeeping. She whispered to the photo, "Mama, if you ever existed, where are you now?" That night, after scrubbing floors and doing the laundry of children who treated her like floor mat, Zara dragged herself to her tiny mattress. Her stomach grumbled. The cook hadn't left food for her again. She closed her eyes and pretended to be somewhere else, where mothers sang lullabies, and dinner was served with love. But reality had sharp elbows. A few weeks later, a strange conversation floated from the living room. Zara, passing by with a tray of water, paused when she heard Madame Ronke's sharp whisper, "She's starting to look like her." "Lower your voice," Mr. Olamide hissed. "Are you trying to wake the dead?" "I'm just saying," Ronke snapped. "If anyone notices, we're finished. The girl's a carbon copy. It's getting risky." Zara's heart skipped. She tiptoed away. That night, she couldn't sleep. What were they hiding? A week later, Zara fell sick. Real sick. But Madame didn't believe her. "You're faking it, trying to avoid work." Lazy goat. Zara fainted in the hallway. Her small body crumpled like a paper doll. The housekeeper screamed, "She's not breathing." Mr. Olamide, surprisingly panicked, ordered the driver, "Take her to the hospital." At the hospital, tests were run, IVs dripped, machines beeped. The young doctor, after studying the records, walked up to Madame Ronke slowly. "Ma, we found something." She blinked. "What?" The doctor hesitated. "Zara's blood type. It matches yours." Ronke laughed nervously. "Are you mad?" "No, Ma. And also, we found an old record. From 13 years ago. A missing baby girl. Hospital fire. Baby went missing from the nursery. We cross-checked facial features, blood type, and, well..." He showed her a photo. A baby swaddled in pink. Ronke's face drained of color. Because she knew the baby. She had held her once, before tragedy struck. Before guilt built a mansion inside her. Mr. Olumide arrived just then. "What's going on?" Ronke turned to him, voice shaking. "They know. They found out." What they never told Zara, what the world never knew, was this. 13 years ago, during a hospital fire, a baby girl went missing. She was their niece, daughter of Ronke's elder sister, Adesua, who died shortly after childbirth. The baby had been declared dead. But the truth? She was stolen, smuggled out during the chaos, and given to a housemaid who couldn't conceive, in exchange for silence. Years passed. When the maid died suddenly, Zara was passed from one hand to another, until she was sold back into the very same family, as a maid. A few days later, the DNA results arrived. Positive. Zara was family. The blood that mopped floors was royal. The hands that washed dirty dishes were born to own silverware. Madame Ronke sat in her study, shaking. "We have to tell her," Olumide whispered. Ronke swallowed. "She'll hate us." "Maybe. But truth has feet. It always walks into the light." That night, Zara was called into the living room. She stood awkwardly by the door. "Ma, you called me?" Ronke nodded slowly. Her voice trembled. "Zara, come sit." Zara blinked. "Sit? On the sofa?" Olumide smiled faintly. "Yes, please." She sat, confused. Ronke took a deep breath. "You are not who you think you are." Zara frowned. "Ma?" Ronke pulled out a folder. Inside, photos, documents, the DNA test, the missing person report, her baby photo. Tears filled Zara's eyes. No, this can't be." Olumide nodded gently. "You're our niece. Your mother was Adesua, my sister. She died after giving birth. You went missing in the fire." Zara's voice was barely a whisper. "Then why did you make me a maid?" Ronke covered her face. "We didn't know, until recently. But when we did, we didn't act, out of shame, out of guilt, out of fear." Zara's tears flowed freely. "You hit me, starved me, called me useless." Ronke fell to her knees. "I know, and I will carry that shame forever. But please, let us do right, from now on." The next morning, Zara woke up in a new room. No longer the storage closet. This one had a soft bed, curtains that danced, and sunlight that kissed her gently. She walked to the mirror. For the first time, she saw herself, not as a maid, but as someone worth knowing. Today, Zara is no longer a girl sweeping the dust of rich people's feet. She attends the best school in the city, takes etiquette lessons, reads law books. And at night, she still holds that old photo. Not to cry anymore, but to say, "Mama, I found me." Thank you for watching. If you believe in miracles, if you believe every hidden child deserves a chance to shine, drop a heart in the comments. Let me know what you think of Zara's journey. And remember, blood may hide, but it never lies.